And we're live, folks. Welcome in. How's it going? Talking Nets. Give me 1 second. I'll cue us up and play the intro music. I think I need some more light in here.
Do we have another new intro? I heard.
Yeah, I cooked up a little bit.
Is it gloomy and depressing? I feel like it's
Yeah,
gloomy and depressing.
So I just had them switch I took shout out to Greaves if Greaves catches this by the time he sees this. I took Greaves' beat that he made for us and I had them put different words over it. And so you'll hear that in a second. Let me turn my lights on, not green. Make these lights white.
Yes, Jared, you should be concerned about the Nets.
Yeah, if you're a Nets fan, you should be very concerned. Okay, here we go.
Concern feels tame.
It maybe feels a little bit like an understatement.
Yeah, it's not great. There's nothing great about it.
Some gallows humor for Nets fans.
All right, folks, here we go.
We're doing that Brooklyn Nets talk right here on Talkin Nets. Brooklyn, we go hard. Go hard. Talkin Nets. Hosted by Keith McPherson, Robin Lundberg, and Hudson Flynn.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Talkin Nets, episode 167. Keith McPherson, joined by Robin Lundberg and Hudson Flynn on this Monday. Happy Halloween. Your Brooklyn Nets will play in Brooklyn tonight against the Indiana Pacers, who they faced Saturday again. And man, I'm not going to bury the lead. I'll intro you guys and let you guys say hello, but obviously we're here to talk about Kyrie. We told you on the last episode that the next episode would be after a couple games, but this is something that we've talked about in our group chat. This is something that everyone has talked about in the NBA, in the Nets world, and now we have to speak on it. I'll welcome in Robin Lundberg. What's up, Robin? How you doing?
Different kind of scary hours, right? That's what we're dealing with. Apropos for Halloween, I'll save my thoughts on Kyrie and the whole situation, but I'll just open by saying I'm tired. I'm tired.
Hudson?
Yeah, not good, Keith. Not good. Someone asked in the chat if they should be concerned about the Nets. Probably a little more than that. Probably a little more than that at this point. But yeah, I'll save my thoughts.
So, a little conversation I had with Hudson about Hudson not doing an episode of Talking Nets last year. I kind of alluded to the fact that he dodged a lot of stuff because I spent plenty of time in this room talking about things that were not basketball related. I spent plenty of time hosting these shows, having to defend or deflect or rationalize a lot of things that didn't come from me, didn't come from my brain, don't come from how I think. And, I'll start off by saying this with Kyrie and the recent stuff that has now come to light over the last couple days from the time that he posted his, Kyrie is, by the time he posted this is where it all stemmed from, right? Boom. Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. If you look on the screen, that's $11.99 that I do not have. And if you look, it's a 3-hour and 28-minute movie that I also do not have time for. Kyrie posted a link to this. He didn't write anything about why he posted a link to this. He didn't explain. He still hasn't explained anything about it. But this is what caused all of the stir, the commotion, the just negative attention on a Nets season where they're 1-5 and their play is already negative enough. So you know how this goes, Nets fans, right? This soap opera, this 7-Eleven KD Kyrie era, and I hate to put it on KD as well because KD doesn't bring in any outside drama. KD might have been injured. We might have had to wait for him to play, but for the most part, he plays basketball and he doesn't bring in any of this extra stuff. So as we continue, right, you got it. Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. I'm basically letting you guys know that I did not watch the movie. I do not have $11.99 to rent any movies, and I damn sure don't have 3 hours and 28 minutes to watch a movie. Robin or Hudson, I didn't ask you guys. Did you guys actually watch this?
I can jump. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead, Hudson. Yeah.
I can jump in. So I'm not going to spend $12 that is going to go to this company or whoever the Ron Johnson guy that made it and wrote the books and everything. I watched his account has some YouTube videos that share snippets and clips from it. I watched those. The Glue guys actually watched, or I forget which one of them.
Mike, probably.
Mike, I think. We were DMing back and forth on Twitter a little bit, and he watched it. But yeah, I'll save my thoughts until we jump into it in full. But yeah, I did look over some of the material.
Well, I saw Pablo Torre posted a screenshot today. Mike Vaccaro from the New York Post wrote a column about Kyrie, and he did a good job, explicitly showing some of what's in here, because the initial outrage is about a link, right? Without context, as you mentioned, Keith. And then you're wondering, okay, I think it was Rolling Stone that had the commentary that said
Rolling Stone did a profile on it 4 years ago, right when it first came out, because it did make waves. I mean, it impacted, or at least some say it impacted Kendrick Lamar's like Damn album as well. Like it had a wider impact than just this a while ago.
Well, what did Kendrick Lamar say? I got COVID and I started to question Kyrie. So
but he said it on the last album, but on the Damn album, he was already kind of talking like this from something that I read on Twitter. He was on this back when the movie dropped, but go ahead. I don't know.
Well, again, there are some complexities to the reaction from certain groups, and we could delve into that if we want to get into the nuance. But when you just talk about the issue at hand, the issue at hand here is a self-created, self-destructive job by Kyrie Irving. That's all it is. It's self-destruction.
Let's just go back to this, right? Kyrie, you're a basketball player. I know you think of yourself as greater than that, but the season is underway. So anything that you're posting, you are promoting during the season. NBA fans are paying attention. Nets fans are paying attention. And I saw this that I wanted to bring in because I'm not defending either side, but it makes an interesting point. And since we're going to talk about everything, we might as well put it out there. He says, this is Tariq Nasheed. He says, if there's an alleged anti-Semitic, no one can seem to specify what's anti-Semitic about it, but they have film on white-owned Amazon, but people don't criticize the white owners of Amazon. Instead, they criticize a black athlete, Kyrie Irving, who posted a link to Amazon. Is that racist? Now, listen. This whole thing,
the dumbest thing I've ever read.
I said, but like this is what when Kyrie says he has an army around him, when Kyrie says people, there are people that support him in this. There are people trying to create a counter argument. I don't stand by the counter argument, but I understand where they're coming from. Right? This is being sold for $11.99 on Amazon. Kyrie claims he's not promoting it, but he did. He put the link out to it. It's harmful. Nothing good comes from it. And here we are talking about it on a Brooklyn Nets podcast. There's not much to explain the other side. So after that was put out, and go ahead, Robin. Go ahead.
Well,
Robin.
we can get to the comments section later, right? Like, and I had a back and forth with people, and I'm willing to have good faith back and forth with people. But once it's revealed what's actually in here, the fake Hitler quote that's in here, some of the other hateful stuff that is said about Jewish people that's in here, Kyrie had a chance to put the fire out, right? Like he had a chance after the game when he sat up there to say something along the lines of anti-Semitism wasn't the message I got from the film. However, I understand where people are coming from and being hurt. I don't want to promote that at all. I denounce that fully. I'm going to delete the tweet and I apologize. Instead, he doubled down on it, says the thing about he has an army behind him, and just it's almost like he has a persistent need to garner up attention and stir things up at various points because things were going well for him. And if it's not going to be this, it's going to be something else. He's proven that at this point. So when you go out there and you try to defend Kyrie on specific individual things, you are neglecting the entire bag, right? I guess double entendre meant because he's got the bag when it comes to basketball. But it's always something with Kyrie. And This is not going to go away without Kyrie rebuking it. It's not going to go away. And it might cause him to be out of the NBA sooner rather than later, because the heat is going to pick up on the Nets. You know, Joe Tsai already said what he said. People are going to keep going, why aren't you addressing this? Kyrie's going to have to speak about it again. Reporters are going to challenge him again.
Going to get asked about it tonight.
Yeah, of course. And until he rebukes and denounces it and you know, stands on those beliefs or articulates what his beliefs actually are, because for such a free thinker, he doesn't seem to be able to explain his thinking. And when he's challenged on it, reacts in a petulant nature. That's the problem. He made it 10 times worse with his reaction to it. He made it 10 times worse. And if the Nets are done with him after not giving him a contract, and this is still hovering around him, who's going to touch the guy? No one's going to touch the guy.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, we'll get there. I have a lot more for people that I feel like, you know, are watching and might not have the full context or didn't look into it. Here is the this is what the Glue guys posted. This is what Pablo Torre posted. It says, America has God's jewelry. The Americans have the jewels of God. The Americans have stolen God's precious jewels. What do you mean his precious jewels, in quotations? The soldier asked. Hitler said, America has stolen the Jews, the jewels of God, his jewelry. The Negroes, in capital red letters, they are the true Hebrews, in capital red letters. What a foolish move and a direct challenge to God. And they plan on moving these false white Jews into a state of Israel because the white Jews know that Negroes are the real children of Israel. And to keep America's secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they are. And then in red letters at the bottom, it says, believed to be said by Adolf Hitler. They spelled Adolf wrong. They got Hitler right. In a secret document before his death in an undisclosed. That's
a crazy sentence. That you have to be crazy to believe that.
That bottom sentence alone. Believed to be said by Adolf with a PH, not an F, Hitler, in a secret document, before his death in an undisclosed location.
There's hateful rhetoric right in there, Hudson. It's right there for you to plainly see in text.
Right. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I'm gonna soapbox for a second. A little inside baseball. I'm not formally trained in podcast hosting. I actually went to school and studied this. This was one of my fields of study, like anti-Semitic disinformation specifically. So I have a little bit of a background on this in particular. First off, if you're quoting Hitler positively as a source in a documentary, it's anti-Semitic. You don't have to. There's no more discussion that needs to be had
even
about
if you're
that.
Making it up and claiming that it's his quote in an like it doesn't.
It's
nothing good comes.
No. And I posted. I said as much and a lot of other things on Twitter in the direct aftermath about that. And I was fairly attacked in my Twitter comments with people trying to make accusations of me being racist, somehow supporting Joe Tsai's assisting role in the genocide of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang, like a whole bunch of other things. But at the end of the day, the content of this video is anti-Semitic, right? So if Hitler, Henry Ford, and other anti-Semitic documents are being put in this as a source, then it's anti-Semitic. And it's also a lot of people don't talk about this, but it's also particularly homophobic. The document is, and it's all bad. Kyrie's press conference was a disgrace. He had a chance to make things a little better, like Robin said, but he completely refused to. He doubled down on his promotion of the documentary. Actually, he said, and this is a quote, history is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. That's the end of the quote. And obviously saying that the film is somehow history is an endorsement of its validity and further anti-Semitism. So that's, even worse, continuing to be bad. Is another note. Nick Friedel, in questioning him, I think did a phenomenal job. Generally, there's been a lot of issues with the way reporters, I think, interact with NBA players. I think there's been a lot of way where people who claim to be reporters may just be TV pundits, but he did a phenomenal job. And I saw so many threats on his personal safety that Kyrie also has to atone for. His actions throwing him on blast in the press conference like that when he was pressed on those things. That's also something that's on Kyrie's hands. And I think Kyrie should be out of the team. I think he should be out of the team. He should be out of the NBA. If at minimum, unless at minimum, he completely renounces his support of the documentary and issues an apology and then does specific things. And that's the last thing I'll say. He's got to do specific like monetary and physical actions, whether it's like donating to anti-discrimination charities or educating himself on the matter. I don't care, honestly, about the basketball implications of this. He's played actually phenomenally this year, but that doesn't matter. The Nets suck anyways. So that's kind of the end of it.
He's exhausting. And, you know, it's if it's not this thing, it's another. I think there's a part of him that wants to be a provocateur, if you will, a little bit. And you know, KD, you're right, doesn't deserve to be lumped in with him, but he could do a better job standing on his own. He could do it, you know.
He's supposed to be the team leader.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the other guys. They always have to answer questions about Kyrie. And as great as Kyrie is as a player, it seems to be a pattern. When he leaves places, they kind of do better. And that would be the hope, I think, for
he's
Brooklyn.
a huge distraction, and not bearing the lead, I still want to fill in listeners or YouTube watchers that might not have as much context or information as we have that are coming to Talkin Nets for some of this information. I wouldn't do this episode if I didn't have the information. I tried to honestly avoid this. I really did. Like Friday night, I was live on air at WFAN when Joe Tsai's tweet came out saying, "I'm disappointed that Kyrie appears to support a film based on a book full of anti-Semitic disinformation. I want to sit down and make sure he understands this is hurtful to all of us. And as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, or religion." I sent that. I might have sent that to you guys in the chat, but I think I sent that out on Talkin Nets Twitter. Here we go. Like, this is the start. And me saying, here we go. This is the start of the nonsense in this season. This is the start of maybe I knew once an owner comes out there to do that, I thought maybe there might be NBA action. So the next thing I actually saw was Enes Kanter Freedom, who took the opportunity to hit Twitter and say, "I applaud you for condemning Kyrie Irving after multiple anti-Semitic incidents. It's time to condemn yourself for supporting the millions of Muslims being slaughtered in China. You literally contribute to genocide, you freaking hypocrite." Tags Joe Tsai and says, "You're far worse than Kyrie." I'm not stepping too deep into that.
Not even going to wade into that.
That's it's whataboutism. That's called whataboutism.
It's exactly whataboutism.
It's whataboutism, right? Which is what people tend to do when they don't want to talk about the subject at hand. They point and say, "Look over there." Now, if someone is educated in that and wants to have a real discussion on that, that's fine too. No one's saying you can't say that. And you could even make the argument that Joe Tsai shouldn't have tweeted that when he did without talking to Kyrie, without coming on a unified front and everything. But all that goes out the window after what Kyrie said. And again,
it's all on Kyrie. Don't get me wrong. Kyrie should have never used his platform, which, me being a social media guy, working in corporate social media, using social media to build my own name, I don't want to hear anyone say that they're not promoting something that they choose to link on their platform.
No. If your argument is retweets does not equal endorsements, you're the dumbest person on the planet.
I'd be fired. I'd be fired. You'd be fired, right. Keith.
We'd all be fired.
Like, we wouldn't have jobs.
It does not. That's not reality, right? There is no real world where you can say that I'm not promoting it, or say that you can't deflect once you're wearing it. Once you put something on your channels, you're wearing it. So the NBA had to make a statement. But read the statement. The NBA today issued the following statement: hate speech of any kind is unacceptable and runs counter to the NBA's values of equality, inclusion, and respect. We believe we all have a role to play in ensuring such words or ideas, including anti-Semitic ones, are challenged and refuted, and we will continue working with all members of the NBA community to ensure that everyone understands the impact of their words and actions. That was obviously for Kyrie, but did not say Kyrie's name. But you got to understand right now, right? I said I was trying to stay away from this because of Kanye. What we all saw last week was Kanye being dragged, Kanye getting his ass kicked by everyone that could possibly put a foot on his ass. And I was trying to stay away from it because it didn't look good. Kyrie decided to put a post out endorsing, and I don't care if he says he's not promoting it or endorsing it, in that climate, right? in where we were last week with Kanye West, and we saw the reaction that he got from words that he said, which I still don't know exactly what he said. I don't know what platform he said it on. I tried to stay away from it. Kyrie chose to use his social media platforms to post a link to this information, which is anti-Semitic. It's disinformation. And that's why we are now in this position where the NBA had to speak on it and Nets podcasts are forced to speak on it. And I'm speaking about Kanye because right after that, Kyrie does try to clear his name. He says, I'm an omnist, and I meant no disrespect to anyone's religious beliefs. The anti-Semitic label that is being pushed on me is not justified and does not reflect the reality or truth I live in every day. I embrace and want to learn from all walks of life and religions. And then like the next tweet after that was for his mom. Thank you for naming me Kyrie. I am grateful you hid me from the world long enough until I was ready to understand who I am. My roots and my ancestors led me back to Africa, and I am damn proud to understand all of the knowledge that was left behind for application. So to me, right, this makes me believe, and I think Kyrie also said something along the lines like he found this when like looking up his name and his history and his ancestors and all this stuff. This leads me to believe the fact that those are his tweets, right? He's saying, I'm not anti-Semitic, but, you know, my mom raised me a certain way. She named me this. I'm grateful that she hid me from the world. And he talks a lot about how our world is and him just existing in our world. And I think he kind of threw it on the fact that, like, he was trying to do his own research on his own origin, and this came up. He wasn't promoting it, but this is something.
Then why did he post Alex Jones too? You know,
He's
like why did he post
like,
Alex Jones? I'm tired of this. Defending in the because here's the thing. There is an aspect of this, and I've talked to people in the comment section where, you know, I understand there is like a pro-black aspect to some of the lineage or history that people are talking about separated from this film, right? And I don't begrudge anyone for being pro-black. I obviously, right? Like everyone should be proud of who they are, what they represent. And I would never in a million years ever want to treat anyone differently than another person or hold the standard for one group of people that I don't hold for another group of people. So pro-blackness is a fine message to put out there. But that's not the message that is being put out there. The message is the hateful anti-Semitic stuff. And when you look at what the NBA put out, the statement, you said they had to address it, right? The NBA addressed it because they were vague, just like the Brooklyn Nets were vague. They were hoping that Kyrie would come out and put the fire out. And instead, he doubled down. And that's why he's got to go. That's why wherever this guy is, he creates this firestorm around him. This is not about any of the issues people are talking about. This is a Kyrie-centric issue again. And it's just like I said, it's exhausting. It can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't have any place in anything. There's no way to defend it, and I'm not trying to defend it, but I am trying to present different sides of things that are floating around out there. I'm black. I can speak to the whole anti-black or not anti-black, anti-Semitic, but pro-black approach, right? No matter what you might think or read or know about the history, you know, you're not supposed to be building anyone up and tearing anyone down at the same time. You're not supposed to be hurting people. Like, I'm someone that grew up going to bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs. I worked at a Jewish camp for 3 summers. Like, I've got a bunch of Jewish friends, right? But I am pro-black. I just think you can be pro-black without being anti-Semitic.
They're not mutually exclusive in any way.
Exactly. And so if you don't come out and clarify that, if you don't come out and speak on that, the pro-black part of it is buried in what's so loud and what's so right in front of our eyes when you click on Hebrews to Negroes and you just see these little bit of clips. So, and I also am talking about the proximity from the Kanye West shit. I don't even know what Kanye said still, but the fact that you chose to put this link out the same week that Kanye is being dragged for being anti-Semitic, and you're seeing what's happened to him, right? And this is what has come out of black circles. How come there's so much reaction for Kanye West being anti-Semitic, but when he said slavery was a choice, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that again doesn't fit here, because the black community wondering why there wasn't action taken against Kanye West and the Jewish community took immediate action against Kanye. That's two different things, right? You can't now in retrospect say, oh, we should have. I stopped rocking with Kanye as soon as I saw him in the Oval Office with Trump in the MAGA hat. I'm like, this dude has lost it. I don't know what's going on with him. But the fact that Kyrie Irving, who has been given another chance, another opportunity here in Brooklyn after last year, the fact that he doesn't care about that, like he's showing you that he does not care about the NBA. He does not care about his teammates. He does not care about public perception. His agendas are first and foremost, even if they're not all the way thought out. And that's scary, because I sent you guys this. I'm like, okay, Stephen A just posted, or Kanye West just posted Stephen A. And it's, I don't know, his quote says, it's actually some real ones still alive that ain't afraid no more. I'm with you. Time to build our own, so the red media can never control or diminish us again. Okay, but then as soon as he put Kyrie on there, I sent this to you guys in the chat, like, where are we going with this? Nowhere good. There's no coming back from this.
No,
it's bad.
If you're getting co-signed by October 2022 Kanye, you're like, it's so far gone. The Nets have given him so many chances, and genuinely I supported them giving him those chances, because for a long time the basketball outweighed it, you know. But at this point, it's just all over. It's all over. And I want to address, Keith, I don't know if you want to throw it up or not. There's a comment from 419 from someone named Ava with a Shrek avatar that said, quote, I get it. It's reprehensible stuff, but this is a slippery slope. He posted a link. If this is the bar here, this world is such a hellscape, though. We've all done stupid shit in our lives, so no coming back. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're Kyrie Irving with millions of Twitter followers, posting a link is not like you or I posting a link,
right? Where
which
no
would
one's
still
gonna
be
see
bad.
It, which I can't
Kyrie just boosted is the common term for it. The visibility of a document that is completely anti-Semitic. I was on YouTube last night trying to do research on this, and the same account, the same people that made this documentary, put up a YouTube video that said Kyrie Irving was right, and that got when I looked last night, 70,000 views already. That's 70,000 views that are being garnered by Kyrie's usage and boosting of this documentary. He should lose his career for what are not misguided beliefs, what are dangerous ones, what are beliefs that cause harm. It's ridiculous to me that there is any sort of a conversation that can be had about this. And I think the NBA and the Nets, honestly, by letting him play tonight, have not done enough. They have not done enough, and it's only going to get worse. And I said this in the intro. We're going to hear from Kyrie tonight. He's going to get interviewed. People are going to ask him questions unless he completely doesn't go to media time after the game.
Well,
and
not
it's
to
going to
cut
get
you
worse.
off, Hudson. Let's play the Nick Friedel post-game questioning.
Great idea, Keith. Thank you.
Before we get too much further, because I feel like there's still people that don't understand all of it around it. Let's play that, and then we'll come back.
Your promotion. Why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I was just there to post, and it's funny, and it's actually hilarious, because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I
promoting.
put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
You put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
right? But my stuff is
Great.
not
So let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free
being.
to post
I can post whatever I want. So
can post
say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
It's
Nothing.
not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people that
what
you're
you
making up,
did,
bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question.
Anybody
Do
is
you guys have
gonna
any
look
more
at
questions
it,
for
and they're
me?
gonna say,
You guys have any more
does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a clip.
anti-Semitic
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie, basketball related.
Okay, so to me, this became more Kyrie versus Nick Friedel, especially the way that he ended it. Let's make another Instagram clip so we can be famous again. And we all know Nick Friedel from covering the Nets in the last couple of years. I think before he was here was Malika Andrews from ESPN. And then when they moved to him in the last 2 years, his line of questioning a lot of times is not basketball related. And he seems to be able to get under Kyrie's skin, which you could tell he got under Kyrie's skin. Because Kyrie kind of broke character. At first, it was kind of like monotone, and then he went into this, okay, are we doing this for Instagram? Now, I don't think Nick Friedel is doing any of this for his own popularity or Instagram. He's a reporter. This is his job to get answers as he's writing an article about Kyrie. Now, I'll let Robin speak on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's be frank. No one gave a damn about the basketball game. You know, the Nets are struggling. They're a mess.
Nets didn't, clearly.
Yeah, no one cared about that game. And Kyrie's right about one thing. He's right about one thing. We are in a society now where a moment can live forever. And that moment you just watched was Kyrie Irving burying himself. That's the moment you watched. For all the rambling nonsense that Kanye said, all the rambling nonsense, there's a chance he still has his Adidas deal today if he doesn't get behind a camera and say, I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas won't drop me. Once he said that, I knew it was over with. And once Kyrie said what he said in that condescending fashion in this press conference, I knew it was over with. Because I do genuinely believe, because the initial act, while promoting vile hate, was only a link, he had a chance to clean it up. And instead, he did the complete opposite of that. And I'm not someone who believes in canceling people, right? I believe in retribution. I believe in second chances. I believe in freedom of expression and opinion. I believe in not censoring things. But I also understand that with someone with Kyrie's visibility and someone with Kyrie's reach, doubling down on that hate speech is harmful and it hurts people. And people have to understand, like, it hurts people, you know, and everyone should be together on that. When you're talking about, like, Black people and Jewish people are two people who have suffered the greatest atrocities really in the history of the world. And you would just think, as any empathetic human, you would understand that this is not cool, not okay. So no one's saying Kyrie should lose his career for posting a link. People are saying Kyrie posting the link, then not denouncing it after it was brought to his attention what was in the link, is making him toxic for the Nets, where he already was. Again, there would be something else. So if the Nets don't sign him or cut him or whatever they do, after not giving him a contract in the offseason, you think the Lakers are sitting there going, oh, we want a part of this right now? Nobody wants a part of it. So Kyrie would be doing this to himself. I don't want to hear about anybody else, the media, fans, whoever. Kyrie, this is a self-inflicted wound.
He created it. No one made him post anything to his social media. But the thing about posting it is explaining it and apologizing for it if you offended people, which he did. He chose not to apologize. Nick Friedel gave us the update last night at 9:00. Kyrie has deleted his tweet that included a link to the movie Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. Now, I don't know who told Nick to be on watch for that, but I think we needed to see that, because I think many people felt like, oh, Kyrie's taking a stance. Oh, he's standing on this. He's not apologizing. And why not remove the tweet? When he removed the tweet, to me, it just shows a little bit of a change in thought. And I think he'll be expected to speak on that tonight after the game. like I said, none of it, no good comes from this. I don't like talking about any of this. It's divisive. I got into this to talk about the Nets and basketball. The Nets are trash right now, but it is what it is. Bomani Jones said Nets might as well start burning it down today. Waive Kyrie, trade Durant, and go from there. There is zero cause for optimism, and it's not like this experiment is making them money. It's a wrap. And like, I honestly know everything is rooted in money and business. There has been great attendance at Barclays Center for these first few games. The fans are there. The fans even cheered in the beginning of that game. I read Alex Shifter's article, and if you look at it, it's like the Nets were out rebounded by 19, drawing boos in the second half of their lack of effort on the boards. Like, the fans were there. The fans were with you. The fans even showed up and cheered Kyrie despite the nonsense hovering over him and the team. But they went out there and they took an L to the Pacers. And I guess we could speak briefly about that. It was domination, and it was a domination from start to finish. And you could tell, right, these guys coming off a back-to-back, not having Miles Turner. I think they were a little bit shorthanded. They weren't making any excuses. They came to play. The Nets lose 125-116 to the Pacers on their home floor, brand new jerseys. Those look good. But again, here we are taking L's in these new jerseys, and that's not fun. We'll close with any thoughts that you guys have on that Pacers L. It was just embarrassing. And I don't care what anyone says about like even Kevin Durant. Nah, it wasn't a distraction to anyone in the locker room, or, it was only for y'all outside. Yes, it is. It's a distraction. It is a here we go again feeling for the Brooklyn Nets and Nets fans. And then when you go out there on the court and you don't respect your opponents, and a team like that shoots the lights out, I don't even care to pull up the box score because we all saw it. They dominated the Nets, and the Nets didn't have enough to hold them off. And now they're 1-5. They have a serious problem with Kyrie that's not going to go away for some time. We thought we were past the vaccine stuff. Anti-vax goes to anti-Semitism. And here we are with this team. How you guys feel?
Simultaneously the most dramatic and the weakest team in the NBA. I don't necessarily disagree with what Bomani said. It might be time to just burn it down. That something is broken to the core of this squad. And I've said what I had to say about Kyrie. KD, to me, is having a lot of empty calorie performances right now. I don't feel inspired by his play. I don't feel inspired by anyone's play. And Keith, you said something in the group chat that I think was illuminating, because the uniforms feel like the best thing about the Nets. Really by a lot. And you said you don't feel like there's anyone on this team whose jersey you would be comfortable rocking. Doesn't that say it all? I mean, to me,
one.
Absolutely not.
To me, that says it all. Like, it's a difficult team to root for. It's a difficult team to believe in. And after what happened with Kyrie, it's just beyond what it was as a product on the court. It's an utter disappointment.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's always made me enjoy talking about the Nets on this podcast is that, at the very least, when the Nets had problems and when the Nets were struggling, there were paths to solutions, right? And now there are times that I see, and I think I might be having some issues with my mic. There we go. Yes, there are problems with the Nets defense. There are problems with our rebounding. I mean, the amount of second chance points that the Pacers missed, ridiculous. Jalen Smith, who's a player I love, Maryland guy, I think shot something like 3 of 14 from inside the paint with like 14 rebounds. They missed more, second chance points than the Nets had a chance to score. It's pathetic, but it doesn't feel fixable. The Nets feel completely corrupted. They feel like a team without a heart, without a soul, without leadership. Yes, I think Nash is not the coach for the team. Yes, I think he should probably be gone. But it goes beyond that. I'm uninspired by Kevin Durant. I don't even want to talk about Kyrie anymore because it makes me so visibly upset. Like, we don't have any depth scoring. It's sad, and it's sad to think that we came from, honestly, I think, being one of the NBA's most likable teams. And I know you guys all remember this. I know you guys all remember the team led by D'Lo and Spencer Dinwiddie, and when Joe Harris was younger and winning the 3-point contest. how long ago does that feel? How long ago does it feel like the Nets were a team that had a bright future and a young core, and that was something to really, truly be excited about and liked by everybody? And I don't mind being a hated team if it's because we're good. But now we're a hated team for all the wrong reasons. And what's worse, we're a boring team. I'm going to watch the Nets game tonight, but I'm more interested in seeing what happens in the post game. I don't expect the Nets to win this game. I don't expect anything good to come of it. And I feel just completely demoralized.
Now, on top of that, Nets say Ben Simmons has been downgraded to questionable tonight due to left knee soreness. And Seth Curry, who had a rough debut, is out with a left ankle injury he's managing. So, I don't know. Markieff Morris is back. We'll see what the rotations look like. Cam Thomas isn't happy about not playing. And if you're a Nets fan, all I can tell you is hope for better days. Like Hudson was referencing the era that came before this era. We thought we had something with that. And if you've listened to me talk about the Nets, they went the superstar route. They sold for superstars. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. And that can be a double-edged sword. It could help you win momentarily, but you might be worse off for it. I look at a team like the Cavaliers and what they're doing right now, and I'm like, damn, like, must be fun to be a Cavs fan. Like, they had to struggle a little bit, but now look what you got. You got Karis LeVert dropping 41. You got Donovan Mitchell. He's good for 30 every game. You got Evan Mobley. You know, we're about to turn this into talking Cavs. Like, they
be
got
a way more
Allen.
fun time.
Yeah, so I don't know. Nets fans, keep your head up. Hopefully something happens, but what I would tell you is going to happen is more bad than good. I don't think Kyrie is going to apologize. I don't think Kyrie is an apologetic type, just in the way that he delivers his messages online and in front of a microphone. I don't think he feels like he's done anything wrong, and it's unfortunate the timing of all of this. It's also, one of the Nets' worst starts. Tonight they'll face the Pacers, and then they have a game Tuesday against the Bulls. So it's a back-to-back tonight, tomorrow, Pacers, Bulls. Then they go down to D.C. to face the Wizards. And then Saturday, they face the Charlotte Hornets. And then the Mavs again. And then not before long, Wednesday, November 9th, those New York Knicks fans will get to come to Brooklyn. And they are super excited at the Nets' demise. They were in the summer when they thought it was all over. That should be some fun stuff to talk about. We'll come back and hopefully talk about more basketball, right? The only thing that can change this is the Nets controlling what they can control on the court. If they can't, fire everybody. Fire Steve Nash. I don't care what they do with the roster at this point because it's not a winning roster. And kind of makes me think KD was on to something this summer when he was asking for Sean Marks and Steve Nash to go.
But he can step up too, right? Like, I mean, he's in the prime of his career, and that's another reason.
He turns the ball over too much for me. He misses a lot of shots as well. He's not beyond reproach. They all suck. There's not anything good to report right now around the Brooklyn Nets, and Kyrie just added this outside stuff, which makes it all bad.
I think it's Monday, right? Like, that's Raw's on. Seth Rollins' theme music starts with "Burn It Down." That's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's all we've got, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Talkin Nets is back. I want better, positive episodes. We didn't come together to start this, to do this, but it's kind of what you get. It's kind of what you sign up for with this team right now, with Kyrie right now. I don't think any of us really took a side to defend Kyrie. I'm not defending anything, honestly. I just think it all sucks. I've tried to stay away from it. I've got to talk about it here. I've got to talk about it on the radio. And I just wish it could have been avoided. And it could have been avoided by Kyrie just standing down after Kanye got all that smoke. It kind of makes me feel like Kyrie wanted to be lumped in, like he might have had Kanye's back. There's no other reason to go this route. And now look at the mess it made over the weekend. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a suspension coming from him. I think he'll be around. I think they're going to talk. But it's like, damn, dude. Like, again.
See, if it keeps going this way, Keith, though, without him addressing it or apologizing it, I think it's going to snowball. I don't think they're going to have a choice to keep him on the team as long as he doesn't rebuke it.
I think the and not to get into our close here, but I think the NBA gave Kyrie a chance. I think they gave him a chance to repudiate it, and he's not taking it. And if the NBA isn't nice twice in a row.
So this is the last thing I'll leave you with. We saw Kanye lose brand deals, partnerships. It was a meme by the end of the week. Like, oh, Kanye is separating from himself. Basically like Kanye is on an island by himself. And like, we don't want to see that happen with the Nets and with Kyrie. Brooklyn has a lot of Jewish people in the community, in the fan base, some that I know personally. Kyrie, I don't know if he'll come out and apologize for this tonight, but I think the damage has been done, right? All they got to do now is go out and win games and try and move forward. Something else will hit the news cycle, but I fear that with Kyrie, there's so many people that already had it out for him. He just gave them more fuel, and like I'm not one to stand here and defend him. Like, you make your own bed, you're a grown man, you have your platform, you chose to do with it what you did. Now you got to explain why, and if you don't explain why, don't be surprised if other people are coming for you, right? We saw a ton of people outside Barclays Center opening night last year. Some people mostly there to, they were there for themselves, but they posed as anti-vax people that were, fighting for Kyrie to be able to play. What if it starts up that people are showing up and they're rooting for him not to play, for him to be removed from what he posted? More and more people have now seen this video or this movie, people aren't mad at Amazon. They're actually sending $12 to Amazon to watch this. And, from what I understand, I'm not watching it because I don't need to. There's enough people that have uncovered what's in the document. If Kyrie doesn't come out and speak on it, it's never going to go away. It'll stay with him. And at this point, man, I just wish that the Brooklyn Nets would focus on hoops and not have so much drama. But
that's Kyrie's fault. I mean, there's no one to blame.
Yeah.
That's my last sentence. There is no one to blame for this but Kyrie Irving.
He didn't have to do it. No one told him to do it. He did it on his own. So here we are covering the Nets, and we've got to deal with this ongoing Kyrie saga. But that's all we've got, folks. The podcast is back. We'll be back now. I guess there's a back-to-back Monday, Tuesday. Maybe we'll plan to record sometime, I don't know, later in the week, Thursday or maybe Friday before that Wizards game hits. We'll have 2 more games to talk about and probably an update on this whole situation, which I hope doesn't get worse, but you never know with Kyrie. Kyrie could say something in the post game tonight that just adds a whole nother gas can to this thing. And not exactly what we signed up for, Nets fans, but part of it. So subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the YouTube, send this link to someone else that might want to learn more about this whole Kyrie Hebrews to Negroes thing. But none of us support it. None of us are with it. It sucks that we have to deal with it, but here we are trying to move forward. That's all we've got. Thanks for watching. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets, bro.